Well, hello everyone. How are you today? It's Sharon here with another fun project, DIY Live. We're here with Essential Stencil on their page. And you can follow me. I'm Sharon Hankins from the blog I Restore Stuff. So if you look up I Restore Stuff anywhere on social media, at I Restore Stuff is where you need to go. And you can find my blog at irestorestuff.com, where I tell you how to paint your own furniture, upcycle your home decor using some beautiful paints and colours. And I'm going to be doing my board here in Fusion's Coal Black. So this is a true black. But we are going to be painting all over the sides. And the idea of this is to make it sort of look a little bit like a chalkboard. And so many fun signs you can make as chalkboard signs. Now, I like to do my sides and edges all first, because then it's easier to drop the sides and paint across the top. Now, I'm going to have a look here and see if I might need to use a couple of coats of this. I don't want to have to, well, it's probably, a lot of the times it's easier to do a couple of nice thin coats rather than going too thick and having too many brush strokes. We don't like the brush strokes. Fusion is quite giving. It self-levels quite a bit, so you don't get too many brush strokes on here. Have a look at that. It's covered really, really well just with the one coat, and I think that's good enough for our sign today, because what I want to do is, it's almost like a chalkboard, and so I want to use that coffee stencil. So this is our coffee stencil. And I'm going to use white to create a fun coffee sign with that. So it fits perfectly because it's 16 by 12, so that's what this board is, 16 by 12 board. All right, so we've got our offloading cardboard somewhere here. There's some that I've used earlier, just any kind of cardboard will do. I just cut up packages, and I'm going to just use the brush, grab a bit of paint, offload that as much as I can. And then I'm going to hold this really still. It's got these gorgeous lines and details around the edge. Sometimes I don't see these things till I'm actually doing the stencil. And I want to be careful that I don't get the brush brushed on the sides of my board. So if you did want to tape it in certain areas, you could probably do that. So I'm just going to start with a little bit of a swirling motion. And remember, this is supposed to look like a chalkboard. And so if it's not full coverage and just looks a little bit soft or, you know, hazy or not quite solid, that's okay, because it's meant to look like chalk, and chalk doesn't always look truly solid unless you're using those chalk pens, of course. Okay. Now we're onto our coffee beans. Beautiful coffee sign. Oops, I did miss the line at the top here. And now I'm just swirling with a nice gentle swirling motion. And of course we can do this because we've got hardly any paint on the brush from offloading it on the side here. You want very little, hardly any. It's called a dry brush method. I'm going to swirl over my beans and then go over the word coffee again. Because if we have too much on our brush, I'm not sure if we've got any newbies on here today, you've never stenciled before, let us know in the comments. Don't be shy, we're here to encourage you and get you started on your stenciling journey. But if you're new here today, that's the key, one of the biggest keys to getting nice crisp lines on your stenciling is having hardly any paint on the brush. You can see what they are. Now, I was talking before about the different labeling. So espresso, yes, we have espresso. So this is a little a label chart of what each of the beverages contains. So espresso, you can see it's got a line here. It has one shot of coffee. Whereas this one, doppio, has double no, and it's not espresso, it's espresso. Double espresso. So it has 2 shots of espresso in there. And so we don't call it a doppio, we just call it a double espresso. So That's the first time I'd heard of that. We don't use half and half in Australia. That would be a half cream, half milk. And so we don't have something like that. We would just use cream or use milk or add a bit of both. So maybe we'd make this with a little bit of cream in it. So there we go. We've had our coffee education. And the differences between coffees, if you're ordering in Australia, a little different. And let's have a look. I'll put this in a plastic bag for a second. And we'll see what that result looks like. You can hear that popping off the sign. Looks like it's something that you could just hang in a coffee shop. So that is so much fun. I love it. So thanks so much for joining me tonight. See you next week. Bye. Oh, I got to go around the back of the camera and turn it off. Thank you guys for watching. See you next week.